Thank you for joining me on my masterclass. Now, today we're going to be talking about a step-by-step guide to making money during a recession. A step-by-step guide to making money during a recession. Now, a lot of people that aren't aware that we're already in a recession. You know, it's not technically being defined as a recession by the United States, but it's already a recession, you know, because if you look at the term recession, it's defined as, some people define it as 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. Some other people will define it as 3 quarters. But if we go by the first definition, 2 quarters of negative GDP growth, then with the information we got 2 days ago, which was July 30th, then obviously we are in a recession. Now it's going to be announced, you know, but we're in a recession. And it's going to now flow from the United States to Europe and then to other parts of the world because of, you know, how interconnected the world is. So you need to start thinking about how you're going to make money, because the traditional means of making money, you know, like from your job, first and foremost, you know, like there's going to be a contraction in employment, and there's going to be probably a freeze in wages or even a reduction in wages. So you have to think out of the box. You know, and then don't be afraid of a recession. A recession is really a very good idea. It's a very good way to make money. Most people who are billionaires, who are very wealthy, would have made their money during a recession, because basically in a recession, what happens? If you take the very first recession recorded, documented, you go to the book of Genesis, you read chapter 47, and you read with Joseph. What did Joseph do during the recession when there was famine all over the world, and then there was some food supply in Egypt? You see, Joseph did one thing that he did. He said he put money into things that have historical value. So if you read Genesis 47 verse 16, you see that Joseph bought all the livestock in Egypt. You go to Genesis 47 verse 20 and you see that Joseph bought all the real estate in Egypt. He bought all the lands and the houses on the land. And another thing that he did, if you read in Genesis 47, he bought all the gold in Egypt. So these things, they have historical value. You know, real estate has historical value. You know, livestock has historical value. Gold has historical value. So now we're in a recession. What you need to do is that you need to invest in things that have historical value, because right now we're in a bear market, meaning that, you know, the stock market is losing at least 20% of its value. So in a recession, you know, we're going down. But, you know, think of yourself in a swimming pool, you know, and then you're sinking. And then what happens? You hit the bottom of the swimming pool, and then you're able to use all your strength to push yourself from the bottom. Then what's going to happen? You're going to go up. So when we bottom out of this recession, the only way is going to be up. So all these prices, because in a recession, things that have historical value, the prices go down. But when we come out of the recession, and we will always come out of every recession, the prices are going to shoot back up again. So you want to buy things that have historical value. And then you can also buy stocks. Although stocks did not exist in the time of Joseph. But what kind of stocks do you want to buy? You don't want to buy just any stock. You want to buy stocks that traditionally have historical value. You know, Procter & Gamble, oil stocks, you know, Meta, which used to be Facebook, you know. So if you go to the NASDAQ, which is tech heavy, you want to buy maybe like Google, Facebook, because their prices are going to go down. So don't look at it and say, oh, it's still expensive. Look, it's going to come back up. I'm telling you. I've been in a recession multiple times. I've made money from a recession. I bought my first house in a recession. I bought it for about $300,000. After the recession, the house, the value rose to about $750,000. So I know what a recession is. You want to, and then now that we're in a recession, you know, you don't want to be spending your money on designer clothes. I bought this long before the recession, or, you know, on frivolities. Cash is king during a recession. So you want to hold cash so you can invest in things that have a cash flow value. So even if you already have a house, don't worry, go and buy that other house that the price has gone way down. Maybe they bought the house at $1 million. Now the house is now worth about $200,000. You know, or if you're in a country like Nigeria or Kenya, where you're experiencing serious devaluation. Now this is an opportunity for you to transfer your money from cash into assets, because assets don't get devalued, you know, like money. You know, I mean, you can't devalue assets like money, even during a recession. So in a recession, you're going to see that currency, money, physical cash is going to be devalued at an alarming rate. I'll give you an example. If you're in Nigeria, at the beginning of this year, your naira was worth about 400 naira to $1. Right now, as I speak to you, right, it's worth about 710 naira to $1. So it's almost lost half of its value. 50% of its value. The same thing, the Kenyan shilling has lost about, I think, 8% of its value. Some people blame the election. It doesn't matter. We're in a recession. So you want to shift your cash into things that have historical value. Don't get caught into buying designer wares because you want to post on Instagram and Twitter. There's going to be time for that when we bottom out of this recession. There's going to be time for that. You want to buy things that are going to be giving you cash flow. The gold ETF is a very good example. Right now, the gold ETFs, traditionally, they are one of the most profitable ventures on planet Earth. But right now, they're not growing as much as they used to grow. Something like in a place like in Asia, the gold ETF was growing at a rate of about 36%. It has slowed because of the kinds of news that's coming out of America. And you have to understand, this world is connected. You might just say, oh, it's not yet affected my country. It's going to affect your country. Because what's happening? You see, global trade is controlled by global shipping. So global trade is controlled by global shipping. There's a war in Ukraine, and because of the threat of Russia, a lot of the shipping has been disrupted. So the price, the cost of shipping goods all around the world has increased by about 3 times, not double, by about 3 times. And then you got to remember that shipping companies, all the shipping companies in the world, the big shipping lines, they are owned by 9 people. Just let me just say 9 companies. And these 9 companies owned by, they are a cartel. They work together to fix their prices. So, there's nothing America, China, or Great Britain can do. These countries, these companies, they are, private companies. So, if they have increased the cost of transporting goods by about 300%, it's going to have an effect on the cost of, groceries, gas, petrol. It's going to have an effect on the cost of even medicines. So you got to think smart. You don't want to put your money in things that don't have a cash flow value. So that's what what you want to do is think about things that have historical value, namely land, gold, agriculture. And that's what Joseph did. And then the 4th component, which Joseph didn't have, the stock market. But not just any kind of shares. You want to put your money in shares that are historically high. Google has a historically high value. Procter & Gamble has a historically high value. Meta, Uber, has a historically high value. Now, with Netflix, a lot of people are saying, oh my God, Netflix is going down. Netflix is going down because people are in a recession. And so, employment is reducing, salaries and wages are either stagnating or dropping. So what's the first thing that people are going to do? They're going to stop, things that are not necessary, like Netflix. So don't say, oh, Netflix is going down. Buy Netflix shares, because when the economy gets back up, people are going to have a lot more disposable income and they're going to get back on Netflix. So you're buying at a discounted rate. When the economy, when it enters into a bullish market, because right now we're in a bear market, if it enters into a bullish market, you're going to make your money back. It always happens all the time. And you got to remember that the best predictor of future events is past events. My name is Ronald Mokri. If you've watched this video and you have questions arising from this video, that's okay. Put them in the comment section of this video. My staff are very good at curating comments. You're going to bring them to me. I'll respond to them. But you got to remember, I do not have a WhatsApp forum or Telegram channel or a Gmail email address. Scammers have seen that my videos tend to go viral very quickly, and so they've created a number of fake YouTube profiles and they approach people pretending to be me. Don't get scammed. This is Apostle of Prosperity saying God bless you.
But Reno travels all around the world. I hope you get inspired about what you see. Apostle of greatness, Reno is a master. Only one man against the whole world in large. Fighting with the monsters, poverty I can't stand. That's why Reno is